Welcome to FS Podcasts. We are a student initiative from Frankfurt School of Finance and Management, a business school located in Frankfurt, Germany. In our podcast, we like to bring different guests with interesting background to talk to us and share their opinion on various diverse topics.
Hello and welcome to FS Podcast, a student initiative from Frankfurt School of Finance and Management. My name is George Hamilton, and I'm here co-hosting this episode with Madhur Chara.
Yeah, that's right.
And today we have a very special guest. We have here someone who not only helped millions of students from high school to university improving their math skills, with more than 145 million views on YouTube. He's one of the world's most successful online tutors, but not only that, but he's also best-selling author, co-founder of StudyHelp, and a consultant. So we're more than delighted to have you here, Daniel Jung. Welcome.
Hi, happy to be here.
Daniel, just first question, quick start. How did it start? Where did it start? What was your...
I was actually in university.
Yeah.
It was Monday morning, 8 o'clock, lecture of mathematics.
Yeah.
Prof is coming out.
Yeah.
Writing down the table in such a speed. I said, oh my gosh. And then one day I founded YouTube and I founded MIT and Stanford launching their lectures for free. And I was lying half naked in my bed Sunday evening learning mathematics in a way I've never seen before. I said, oh my gosh, that has to be something. It was around 2009, 2010. And I said, if that could be something, I should produce those videos. Mm-hmm. So I watched those 1 hour and a half lectures and I said, maybe learning nuggets could be something. 5 to 6 minutes on the job, on demand, down to the point. And I started producing. I was doing quite well with my first startup. But I said, giving those stuff for free on the platform YouTube, reaching a huge audience, even if it is German mathematic tutorials, I said, let's do it. So I start producing. I've been producing now for eight years, constantly, every week a math tutorial is coming out. That's persistence. It's great. 145 million views. It's shocking for me even today, but it's running. But it's not only videos. So around that, building a personal brand. I'm the math guy on the whiteboard in the internet. So around that brand. It helped me to invest in startups, to be a co-founder, to say in the video, hey, if you want to go to a crash course on site, click here. Feel free if you want to pay something. So YouTube was pretty much a good deal for me.
Well, we're gonna get in that, but before that, we'd like to come back to the time when you were a student. So have you always been good in math? And what did you study back then at school? In university, in school and university.
I would say I was in the midfield of a mathematician. I was not quite good, and I think because of that, I could go into the problem the student has to understand complex problems. So I learned a lot from the MIT and Stanford lectures, and some German lectures, and because of that, I went into it and said to me, how can I do this in 5 minutes to help a student understand this complex problem? I think because I wasn't that good in math, helped me to do these cool, nice, smoothie, short math tutorials.
Understand methodology and all these things.
And like most students consider maths as a subject which is really boring, and but you consider yourself as the mathematical rockstar or rocking math?
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
It's actually the crowd who's saying, hey, we rock mathematics now. You are the math rockstar. But I think it's a mixture of you have access to mathematics in that way. Yeah. YouTube 24/7, always on my side, my personal coach, not depend on the prof I don't like. I can choose my own online coach, whether it's me or MIT. And it's that short tutorials that that are understandable. So you have that feeling of understanding what's happening, not the script, 245 slides with stuff I don't know what you're writing there, and the prof was saying, go read it, deal with it, or
Just
go away. And that's the effect why people say, whoa, math isn't such a big deal. I understand it, and that's the feeling.
It's not a drag,
Perhaps
it's not
because
a-
I have become the rock star of mathematics.
Yeah, but the flexibility itself that YouTube provides is a big part
Anytime,
of it.
anywhere, on my time, I can watch a video
Yeah.
as often as I needed to understand this complex stuff. So that's a really big deal.
Well, maybe you don't consider yourself as a rock star, but welcoming you here in campus, some student came to get a picture with you, get an autograph, and all these things. I mean, is there your day-to-day life, you experience things like this? When you, let's say, doing groceries, if you do, and people come to you, hey, Daniel?
7 years.
Yeah.
Not anybody came to me to say, "Hey, I learned with you."
Okay.
So it was kind of the typical influencer is like doing fashion, beauty, and sports, and let's hug, do a photo.
Yeah.
But there was a tipping point last year when I visited a university in Vienna. So I had to sign skateboards.
Wow.
For students.
Yeah.
Who said, you are our idol. I said, what's going on here? It's that for crazy shit. And I think that's a big deal for education, that there are influencers, not for gaming, beauty, fashion, and co, but for education. So if you have education influencers who spread a feeling of, hey, let's take a photo together because you helped me in something.
You helped them overcome.
So, and I'm one of the first guys in that place, and I like it because I'm doing good stuff. I help people with really crazy stuff like mathematics, and everyone out there who wants to produce content like mathematics, physics, finance, whatever. I say, go do it. Help others. It's a really good time for it.
And like there are many portals coming on that are really becoming popular these days, like Coursera and edX. So are you planning to collaborate with them or somehow using
Actually,
that
I had
platform?
some talks with Udemy, for example, who wanted to produce lectures in the basics of mathematics for their programming lectures, but I'm Daniel, and I have to do it on my own. So I launched an own digital platform last year, where I combine my own content, my videos, with extra lectures, with tests, with the possibility to ask specific questions on specific time. And out of that project came the idea to program my own database and launch an app by the end of this year, just for special questions and getting the answer on demand, on the job by an expert. So I'm very open to make joint ventures with the Udacities on this world, the Coursera's, etc.
Yeah.
But they all have their own goal, and I have my goal, and I like it to test it on my audience because I'm reaching out to 1.5 million students in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and so I want to build something for my own and be that rockstar for education for the next years.
And as you see, as we can see, Daniel Jung itself is a brand now. So you might apply a lot of brand management skills to what you started as a channel to teach people. Now you're applying own brand management skills to it. So how is that going on? Like now considering yourself a brand?
So that's why I started to produce extra content beside my math tutorials, like my speeches, when I visit one of my startups, I'm filming it. Right now I'm filming this podcast and we'll upload it on YouTube. I produce content today from my TEDx event here at Frankfurt, and I try to give as much value for my audience, to give them tips like go out there, learn to present in front of other people, deal with the future of finance, go do a podcast. If you want to spread value, use the Anchor app, download it. So I try to reach out as much as I can to help them realize what's happening out there. Because personal branding will never go down.
Yeah.
Every crisis that will come, and I say we are running now for 10 years up in the stock market. So the crash is coming. But for me, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, if everything will cut down, I'm the math guy who can help you. So that personal brand will forever help me to be sustainable in every crisis. And so there's the chance for everybody out there to deal with all those social networks, these possibilities to do something with it, and not do the next brand, fashion, style, sports, whatever, go full hard into education.
What I think is interesting is because you generally started with the will and to help people, right? That was a goal, and this became a massive business. When was the point when you were just helping people to just say, well, I can make a business out of it, and when you realized that this business became greater than you even expected?
On my journey, it was a process. While studying, I had my first startup dealing with local tutors, where I, for myself, helped other people on site. So I had a business with real income, not raising money and doing the next Facebook. And so out of that, I was able to test something without a business model, like giving my video content for free on YouTube. And then this giving for free content on YouTube came to a business model because I have ad revenue. With the ad revenue, I could test again something new, like a coding project. Meanwhile, some students said to me, I have a business idea, to students from Paderborn. We want to do on-site crash courses. I said, let's do it. Because with my personal brand, I can deal with it on my videos here, click here to do an on-site course. So now we are in 200 cities in Germany and Austria, running 1,000 of courses. We just opened up learning academies on-site to go into the future with on-site learning. So it's a process of knowing what you can do very well. My base is mathematics and providing content in video form. So out there, somebody's listening, perhaps who can talk really good, start a podcast, talk about finance, talk about whatever you can, talk about machine learning, artificial intelligence, I don't know. You build a base, and around that, don't focus on the business model first, it will come. When you're full of passion and provide content.
When you have a purpose, it will come. I think it's extraordinary. No, it's really, it's deep, actually. And how do you fit all of this in your schedule?
That's also something you just talked about Evernote. I talk a lot about because my crowd asked me, how do you handle your day? How do you handle the team? So I'm talking about yes. It's so I'm talking about a lot of the tools I use, like Evernote, my online brain, about how to handle those small teams for the new coding project. I have a small team of 4 people, which I handle with Slack, a super duper cool communication tool, and I'm always shocked that nobody knows Slack or Evernote when I talk to students. And I said, go download it, test it.
They're amazing.
So it's a little bit of using the right tools, willing to give up a little bit when it comes to the position of a CEO. Like I'm a founding partner at StudyHelp. There's a beautiful team, 2 CEOs. So I'm a little bit like I'm coming in, giving my advice, rocking it, pushing it, and so I'm in the middle of all that. And for me, I have a core team of 7 to 8 people for me, and I try to be in that as good as I can. But the days are very planned. Morning structure, go into some cool websites, what's new, like Gründerszene in Germany, like TechCrunch, like Business Insider, scrolling a little bit, little input, lifelong learning, new stuff, seeing how can I use my Snapchat account, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, etc. to provide my ideas, my thoughts, give it out, and so that's perhaps why some call me rocket guy, because I'm full passion of providing.
Yeah,
those,
we can
those,
feel
those
that
content.
right
Yeah,
now, the passion you have.
So even
we
here
can-
in the podcast, but there is a big thing, and that will be meditation in the future. I see a lot of CEOs who are struggling with it, because you have so much options. Yeah, like now the Thema voice is coming up, like podcasting. I'm so in it, and I feel, where's my time? And my time is rushing. So actually, I'm looking for good guys out there who want to help me build up more content power.
Yeah.
And also, like Daniel Jung, you're already reaching 200 cities in Germany and Switzerland and Austria. What next? What are you planning to go international with this? And
Yeah, the easiest way to go international, I think, would be with my own database and my own application to get together two people with a focus on mathematics. You have a specific question, you get the answer throughout my community. I know when it comes to market research, there's Stack Overflow, Math Stack Exchange. There are some guys, but this market, education, is bloody big enough.
Yeah.
So go out there. There's Khan Academy, Coursera, Udacity. It doesn't
Never
matter.
gonna lack
You
space.
you can. It's such a big deal, education. And so right now I'm testing a lot in this own database. At what point of the day is coming, what question, who gives the answer, is the answer a video, is the answer with a chat, so I can build up an algorithm for that, who probably one day can personalize your education behavior. It's like a Spotify for education in the future.
Okay.
Spotify will do it. You will use Spotify in 5 years to consume educational content. And 3 weeks later, Spotify will tell you, hey, good news, it's 5 a.m. Sunday, your best learning time. For 80%, you are a video learner. I guess you don't know what you are best in learning. Video content, written words,
Audio only,
audio,
yeah.
you don't know.
Yeah.
So we have to build up environments for that. And that's my next big goal with my own database, because I have so much content. I have such a huge crowd, but most of that is on YouTube.
Yeah.
And YouTube is using it to sell you the next BMW, Nissan, whatever. And I want to track all those data to personalize education.
That's a big goal.
Yeah.
That's a big goal. Talking more about yourself, your typical workday, you say meditation is something very important. It's a topic that's coming in the future. A lot of CEOs have implemented and struggling also with that. Do you meditate yourself? And is there do you have any habits that you would like to share?
It's very hard for me,
Yeah.
because in my mindset that's bullshit, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Because I'm on fire all day, all week, the whole year, but that won't last forever.
Yeah.
So I try to do relaxing meditation. The good thing is, last year my nephew stepped into my life.
Okay.
That's a good deal, because I spent some time with him, watching him, what kids are doing,
nice.
how kids are learning, and it's like having a mental freeness in that time.
Yeah,
And
sponge.
probably you might know Gary Vaynerchuk, who's hustling all the time.
Yeah.
Even this guy is doing his out. He's calming down. Spend some time with the family, and all that stuff that's coming out. There is a team behind it. So when it comes to sleeping, I need seven hours of sleep. There is no sleeping 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
It's the possibilities you have now in the time you are awake. So back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, you have a 9-to-5 job and no possibility to get some knowledge.
Yeah.
Now you can grab your phone and with a flip of a button,
Just consume.
just consume good stuff. Unfortunately, the market is the market. There's a lot of advertising and influencers to sell you shit. So everyone who realizes that there is really, really good content to get knowledge will have a beautiful future.
Amazing. Thinking about, I have some other questions I'd like to ask, but basically coming back to students, because when you were saying that, for example, 7 to 9 hours, 7 hours of sleep is actually ideal. We were just talking to some other speakers, to Anne Cork and also to Sorokin, and they're saying that they need at least 9 hours of sleep sometimes. How you coming back to students who sometimes have, here in Frankfurt School, we have some something called the Hell Week for master students, where they have lectures during the day and they have presentations based on these lectures in the afternoon. But for students who are struggling with exams, do you have any tips?
Struggling with exams, I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
In 3 weeks, I have to. I have to do
Have
all that stuff. So
Yeah.
the first question for me, for everybody, is how do you organize yourself? With what tools do you use? Do you know Slack, Evernote, Wunderlist, whatever? I guess the far majority does not know how to use all those tools in perfection to optimize your day. Most of them say to me, you always say, beside learning all the stuff, I have to deal with new stuff, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and that I don't have the time. And I say, I guess you have. When you're watching the next Netflix show at Saturday, you can use that time probably for something other stuff. So tips. I'm always a little bit frightened to say these are the 3 best tips to pass an exam.
Everybody's different.
Everyone is individual. So I would screen how do you schedule your day? What tools do you use? What is your exam like? What is the topic? How can you combine it with other stuff? How could you use a Saturday or a Sunday where most of students do the off thing? So
You just come to a personal level, right?
yeah.
And at the end of every episode, we have a few questions, 3 questions we'd like to ask all of your guests. And a question I'd like to ask you, if there's someone you look up to.
To look up to, look up to. There are several guys. It's a mixture, I think. You mentioned Elon Musk. I admire Elon Musk, how he's dealing several companies with the overall topic, transportivity of the future. That's a little bit like me, online learning, offline learning, with several startups, all about education of the future. It's Steve Jobs. You can like him or not, but he could simplify things. So I simplify mathematics. Gary Vaynerchuk is someone who's providing so much content, and a mixture of those 3, for me, it's a big deal. So.
And the second question we would like to ask is, if you were not a YouTuber or not a mathematics teacher that you are right now, what else would you have been like in your life?
In the early days, I told everyone someday I would become an astronaut. So maybe I would be an astronaut or something like that. But I think my passion is education. I always want to help people. So maybe I would do something helping others with whatever. If it wasn't mathematics, it would have been something else.
Coming to the point about books, you talk about a few nice books, some books and some nice authors. We were just talking also before the podcast. Is there any book that would you recommend to anyone? And do you have any book next to your bed?
Again, I would do a little mixture. Machine Platform Crowd is awesome, amazing, by Eric Brynjolfsson and Andrew McAfee. You understand what's happening out there with the machines who are learning right now, the chances of platforms and bringing together the crowd, whether for learning or for working. It's amazing. TED, The Art of Public Speaking. It will be an awesome skill for everyone in the future of artificial intelligence, to talk in front of other people, to explain things in front of other people. This book is amazing. and perhaps Crushing It from Gary Vaynerchuk to understand what's happening out there with the chances of social media.
Daniel, it's been a pleasure. We are very much excited to watch your speech on TED.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And thank you a lot for being here in the episode. We hope we can also have contact with you and to do other things in the future. Whenever you're here in Frankfurt, come to Frankfurt School, have a coffee with us.
Yeah, I like it.
We're very delighted. Okay. Thank you.
And thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.